We now move on to the EFD and Ms. Andreasen.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Rehn, I'm here. It appears that Euro membership has become intolerable for several member countries. When the Euro was introduced, prices were elevated in many countries in the Eurozone. At present, the opinion polls in Estonia show that 75% of the population are afraid that living costs will increase if they abandon the kroon for the euro, as is planned for next year. Do you agree that joining the euro causes prices to increase? What would you do to avoid it? And do you recommend that more countries should join the euro? And a second question, how would you help those countries that need to devalue their currency to cope with the economic and financial crisis and cannot do so because they are in the Eurozone? Thank you.
Okay, I try to use my time for answering to your first question concerning the price rises. Membership in the Eurozone should not cause prices to rise. And of course, that is dependent on the country's economic policies and ability to sustain low inflation, which is in fact one of the entry criteria of any country to the Eurozone. There is no major evidence of price increases, even though there may be some minor increases when figures are rounded, but if the economic policies are right and inflation is kept at bay, there should be no general price rises in the context of the euro accession. You asked whether I'm in favor or against the enlargement of the Eurozone. I'm in favor on the basis of the Treaty on European Union. When a country meets the conditions of joining the Eurozone, the next likely candidate being Estonia, it should be able to enter the Eurozone. Estonia is rather close, but we will have to ensure that all the rules are respected, the treaty is respected, and we will return to this matter in the coming spring in the convergence report on Estonia.
Mr. Rehn, Slovakia has celebrated its first year in the Eurozone and has seen quite an increase in the prices to the point that its tourism has decreased 25% as a result of this. Its GDP has dropped 1% more than its neighbor, the Czech Republic. How do you explain this, and how do you justify that this doesn't have anything to do with joining the Eurozone?
There are several factors maybe behind these figures, but the essential thing for Slovakia, I have many Slovak friends, and I must say that a vast majority of them, on the basis of my personal opinion survey, are in favor of Slovakia having joined the Eurozone. The Euro has provided shelter from the storm in the current financial crisis for Slovakia as well as for many other countries, including the country I know best. I recall very well the economic recession of the early 1990s when, for instance, Finland was in a position where it didn't have the Euro, and we suffered huge human costs because of high unemployment. Now we have the Euro, and it is protecting many of the larger and smaller member states in these current storms of the global economy.